Welcome to this edition of Your Ticket to Baseball Nostalgia. This is Dan Busby, baseball ticket collector, researcher, and author. My first baseball book was entitled Before and After Babe Ruth, a story of the New York Yankees as told through the lens of tickets and passes. In this edition of Your Ticket to Baseball Nostalgia, we are covering the 1955 World Series as the Brooklyn Dodgers faced the New York Yankees again. This is all based on my book, Before and After Jackie Robinson, a story of the Brooklyn National League team as told through the lens of tickets and passes. Today, I'm sitting in a couple of old seats that were used at Wrigley Field decades ago. Having won 3 pennants in 4 years, the 1955 Dodgers were the premier National League team. But that was not a fitting legacy for one of the most talented group of players ever assembled. They needed to win a world title before time ran out on them. The rivalry between the Dodgers and the Yankees was different than the one between the Dodgers and the New York Giants. Carl Erskine, Dodger pitcher, said, "When we played the Giants, it was profound hatred. Against the Yankees, games were played in a zone above intense competition. This was classic baseball." In the first game of the 1955 World Series, the first game to be televised in color, it was Don Newcombe versus Whitey Ford. Ford wasn't in top form, but Newcomb's postseason woes continued as he gave up 6 runs in 5 2/3 innings. Elston Howard, who that year became the Yankees' first black player, hit a 2-run home run. Joe Collins added 2 home runs. The Dodgers trailed the Yankees 6-4 in the 8th inning. Jackie Robinson was on third. It's generally not the best baseball strategy to steal home with your team 2 runs behind. But Jackie wanted to shake things up, and he took off for home. He made it safely, though Yogi Bearra strongly protested the call. Still, the Yankees won the game 6-5. In Game 2, Wee Reese led off the top of the 4th with a triple and scored on Duke Snider's single off Tommy Byrne. But in the bottom of the inning, after a 2-out single and walk, back-to-back RBI singles by Elston Howard and Billy Martin tied the game. After a hit by pitch loaded the bases, Byrne's 2-run single put the Yankees up 4-1 and knocked out starter Billy Lowe's. The Dodgers got a run in the 5th on Jim Gilliam's RBI single with Jackie Robinson at third, but could not score again off Byrne, who pitched a complete game to give the Yankees a 4-2 win and a 2-0 World Series lead. Moving to Ebbets Field for Game 3, Alston's hope to get the Dodgers off life support was Johnny Podres. He was only 9-10 during the season and almost didn't make the postseason roster because in early September, a member of the field crew rolled the batting cage into him, damaging some ribs. It was Podres' 23rd birthday, and Campanella gave him a 2-run home run in the first inning as a present off Bob Turley, who didn't make it out of the second inning. Podres went all the way for the win. It was his first complete game since June 14. The Yankees now led the series 2-1. Don Larson started Game 4 for the Yankees. But this was 1955, not 1956. He lasted 5 innings and gave up 5 runs. Clem Labine earned the win with 4 1/3 innings to close as the Dodgers tied the series with an 8-5 win. After Don Newcomb's bad outing in Game 1, Alston went with another youngster, Roger Craig, in Game 5. It was a great decision as he gave up just 1 run in 7 innings. He was relieved by Labine as the Dodgers won 5-3. Now the Dodgers were up 3-2 and only 1 win away from the World Championship. In Game 6 back in Yankee Stadium, Casey Stengel went back to Whitey Ford. Carl Spooner started for the Dodgers, and the Yankees scored all 5 of their runs in the first off of him. Spooner lasted 1/3 of an inning in what would be his last major league appearance. After 2 walks, back-to-back RBI singles by Yogi Bearra and Hank Bauer put them up 2-0 before Bill Skowron capped the scoring with a 3-run, 295-foot home run down the left field foul line. Whitey Ford pitched a complete game, allowing 1 run and 4 hits as the Yankees forced the Game 7 with a 5-1 win. It was fitting that the Dodgers and Yankees would play a 7-game World Series and the outcome would go down to the final inning, played before 62,465 fans at Yankee Stadium. Meanwhile, throughout Brooklyn, in homes, apartments, bars, and classrooms, radios and televisions were tuned to the game that would determine the team's legacy. Casey Stengel went with Tommy Byrne for Game 7. Olson went with Johnny Podres. He was young and brash. 2 pluses. As the team traveled from Brooklyn to the Bronx on the team bus, Podres pleaded, "Get me 1 run today. Just get me 1 run." Everyone heard him. Mantle was still nursing a sore leg and did not start the game. Alston elected to play Don Hoke at third instead of Jackie Robinson. It was the only World Series game that Jackie Robinson ever missed, and ironically, it would have been the most meaningful game of his career, next to his debut on April 15, 1947. The Yankees mounted the game's first real threat in the bottom of the third, when with 2 outs, Phil Rizzuto walked and Billy Martin singled him to second. Then, in a key play, Gil McDougall sent a high bouncer to Don Hoke at third. If it was an infield hit, the bases would have been loaded for baseball's most dangerous clutch hitter, Yogi Bearra. But the ball struck Rizzuto's foot as he slid into third for an automatic out. "I thought Rizzuto being called out like that to end the inning was a good omen," said Carl Erskine. "Strange plays like that usually happen to us, and it contributed to our losses to the Yankees. For once, it happened to them." The Dodgers scored the game's only runs on a 4th-inning RBI single after a double and 6th-inning bases-loaded sacrifice fly, both by Gil Hodges. Because Alston had pinch-hit George Shuba for Zimmer in the top of the 6th inning, a defensive shift was required. To replace Zimmer at second, Alston brought in the right-handed Jim Gilliam from left field. He sent Sandy Amoros out to left. Sandy wore his glove on his right hand, and that would be a major factor in what was about to happen. In the bottom of the 6th, the Yankees mounted their biggest threat. Billy Martin drew a leadoff walk. Gil McDougall followed with a bunt single. With the 2 runners on and nobody out, the left-handed hitting Yogi Bearra, a notorious pull hitter, hit a slicing and sinking drive down the left field line toward the corner. The runners took off thinking they'd both score on a double. But Amoros had taken off with the pitch too. As he sped into the left field corner near the 301-foot marker, he stuck out his right hand and the ball dropped in his glove. Then Amoros whirled around and fired to Reese, who made the accurate relay throw to Hodges at first, doubling up Gil McDougall. This possibly stymied the Yankees' best chance of the day. Podres pitched an 8-hit shutout and was tough in the clutch. For the first time in World Series history, an MVP was selected, and it was Johnny Podres, winning pitcher of Game 3 and Game 7. He was 2-0, both wins being complete games, including the series-clinching Game 7 shutout, and had a 1.00 earned run average. At approximately 3:45 p.m. on October 4, 1955, Dodgers announcer Vin Scully simply said from the broadcast booth, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Dodgers are champions of the world." He was too choked up to say more. Well, thank you for joining us for this edition of Your Ticket to Baseball Nostalgia. Watch our other videos to relive memories of the Brooklyn Dodgers. This video is based on my book, Before and After Jackie Robinson, a story of the Brooklyn National League team as told through the lens of tickets and passes. For more information on old baseball tickets, go to baseballticketman.com. And order your copy of Before and After Babe Ruth and Before and After Jackie Robinson on Amazon. Watch for my 3rd baseball book, Before and After Satchel Paige. And a special thank you to Daniel Herman, who shot and edited this video.